is ours. Word of God is ours. Dopamine is secreted in anticipation of something you are about to grab or hoping to grab. That is why can't seem, whether as an unbeliever or a Christian, in an immoral relationship. You see, you say it's lost, and it's true. There's all sorts of spiritual implications, but there's also the chemical being secreted into your system from your hormonal glands, and that thing is running into you in anticipation. That person, that's stirring your feeling. Whether it is marriage that is your fruit, or just being with the person to talk, or even anticipation of sexual activity. That drive that makes people do all sorts of things, break laws, disobey everything, do all sorts of things. That's dopamine. When it runs out, makes you look at the next person, and that's the next cut. Dopamine is about what you don't have, what is not within your possession yet. When you have it, maybe after being together for 6 months, 2 years, you have had it too much. I'm tired of this marriage. Off your mind, and sometimes legs go wandering. Why? Because you are missing your drugs. Are you following? Your body is craving for something to trigger the release of that chemical. I've tried to explain these drug habits at different times. The same way people inject drugs into themselves and go, now you can't say, this thing you're saying, it sounds childish. Billionaires around the world are taking drugs to feel good, shooting themselves up with heroin and cocaine. The feeling of taking in drugs creates a tingly excitement. It's a real thing all over the world. If it was irrelevant, you wouldn't have sage-like looking Afghani men, Arabs, smoking opium. Chemical intoxication is a real thing. Just that you don't think about it when you're not actively taking from outside. You forget the one inside that must have a trigger to be released. So you hear people say, I'm in love with, then I'm in love with, then I'm in love with, then I'm in love with. It's just the next dose. That person's presence in anticipation of a meeting with that person, that chemical, you don't know that because you didn't pick it and ingest it from external sources, but you're not aware that your body is releasing it into you, and that's why you feel happy and glad and excited around them. You are on drugs, and that's your dealer. Do you understand me? So you're simply going to your dealer. You call it being in love. No, you have gone to your dealer. When he stops giving you the high grade quality, they can't stir it up anymore. You turn to another dealer. Dating Tom, dating John, dating Fred, and dating Harry. Then I'll date. It's drug use. I'm not just feeling it anymore, you know. There's nothing personal. I'm not just feeling it. If only someone would explain this to them. Now you see the challenge. In marriage, you cannot maintain dopamine supply. It's not possible. You live together. That is why you see people say that they won't get married. Amongst the reasons people can live together and not get married, apart their financial consequences in America and certain countries, all that, but generally, they are just trying to keep it edgy and exciting. And then you see how you've heard things about people having an open relationship, meeting other people outside, being all of that. That's why. Yes, I like you above average more than others. I wouldn't mind us being partners, but we'll be free to still love. And they say happen. Yes. See, there are no two people can be around each other non-stop and your body is constantly overexcited to see the person. Not possible. So they look for excitement elsewhere. You hear a husband say that, Ngozi, I say I love you. But you know women. So he's looking for his dopamine shots outside. Do you understand? Not that he doesn't want, he wants to take care of you, Ngozi. He wants us to raise our children. He doesn't want the children from any other woman. No. He may not even want to eat any other woman's food at the same time. That dopamine, now they look for. You know they sell plenty now. Only once in a while. This is what happened. There's another feel good, the second one I mentioned, oxytocin. That one is the one that when you hear a couple, they are happily married, they are not running on dopamine, they are running on oxytocin. It involves feelings of trust, comfort, safety. I am safe with this person. This is the long range one. This is the one that makes the person look at the spouse and feel happy, or even the child, pick it up and hold it. It's not the thought of getting a baby so much so, but as the thought of, this is a safe human being. This one cannot harm me or hurt me. This one, with this one, I can feel safe. That's the feeling when that husband, that wife sees the spouse and there's that feeling of, hey, next thing you start arguing, you start doing painful things. That's anti-oxytocin. That's why people want to go out. Can't be in the same space with you. Because when I'm around you, you shut down oxytocin. It dries up completely. Can't stand you guys. Bam. Children feel it, parents feel it, people feel it. Not a safe space. It's so ridiculous that a gang member will be around his gang members and feel safe among his gang members and blast you dead because they told him to, so he can be received back into the acceptance of his gang members. He doesn't know that it's his oxytocin supply. This is where he gets his supply. Around his fellow gang members, fellow cultists, because there are these rules that exist. You never betray. So you get his oxytocin supply there. Now if a home has the love of parents, means you can have oxytocin supply there. Your spouse, your husband, you know, he's safe. You feel safe in your heart and your mind around him. Your wife, your whatever. But if you don't feel safe, you can't feel happy. Nobody's happy where they feel unsafe. See some people, when they're in certain spaces, you don't know if they open their mouth. When they are in other spaces, they let loose everything. That's their safe space. It's kind of important to even know this just for the sake of knowing it with people, because you might not understand why. You may even be acting otherwise and speaking otherwise, but those things within you are. So ask yourself, if you're not feeling safe, why are you not feeling safe? If the person is a safe person and you are not feeling safe, it's an indicator of significant outstanding issues with you. At the top of the list, trust. So the matter of trust. It's why a woman, a young lady, can marry an old, ugly man. You handsome, tall, you're a hunk. You're not safe. Don't trust it. For appearances, because of people, what they might say, but don't trust it. Never trusted you from the first day I met you. This man, this old man, this not so handsome man, this whatever, looks very, very stable, very dependable. Looks like something you can lean on, and it doesn't give way. You, a flaky character, These are the things going on in your subconscious. You're not aware of it. It's a chemical battle. Now, we know we are not supposed to be led by the flesh, okay? And feelings. Yes, you can. Can you see why you need God, the voice of the Lord? Because there you are feeling all this. I don't even know. I just feel. I just. Sometimes it's not the Lord. Sometimes it's what it evokes. Stories you may have heard. Why do many people not trust their spouses? Men don't trust women. Women don't trust men. Because in the previous times, they saw pictures like this, whether among their parents or relatives or neighbors or whoever, or stories they've read. When you hear me warn you against novels and movies about all this over romantic stories and all that, it goes into your head, paints all sorts of pictures that are triggering chemical release that it has no right triggering. I'll come back to that, but let me give you a quick thing also why women are drawn to men that have money. Because money equals safety. Food to eat, certainty, clothing, safety. It's also why they are more drawn to older men than to their peers. Because older men convey a picture of more stability. Younger men are still growing. They haven't even fleshed out. You remind them of their younger brother. Totally undependable. I'll come and trust my heart to you, bro. When I look at you, I think of hunger. It's not that I don't like you. Rashid, it's not that I don't like you. It's just that I don't know how to explain it, Rashid. Rashid, you're like a brother to me. Even you don't know. I'm explaining it to you. Rashid, I have a brother. No one on earth can depend on him. And you remind me of him. Rashid, I cannot, in good conscience, entrust my heart to you. You scare me without trying. And you see, you're a nice guy, but so this is me talking as though I knew all that I know, talking to Rashid. So Rashid, you invoke in me memories of undependability. The same way they could leave my brother in the house with food, and he steals money to buy bread and mineral rather than warm the food. And many other such things. Things burning, clothes out in the rain. Disaster. Let's put one word, disaster. When I see you, I see disaster. I'm not saying you've done anything to deserve these thoughts, but you are the picture of problems in my life, my future. So around you, when I look into the future, I see blackness and darkness. It's very bleak. So permit me not to say I do to anything you say. That man conveys a picture of stability, whether I got it from my father, my pastor, whoever. That looks stable. That looks unshaking. That looks balanced. Looks like something that will off the gas when I leave it on and go away. It looks like someone that will unhang the clothes and iron them on top. That looks like someone that can pay for all of what I've said to be done if he can't do it himself. We are talking about what you don't say. So Rashid, that's why I am considering him 99% over you. Yes, I just met him 2 months ago in a church meeting, and he dropped me off after. I've known you for 6 years. Not once have you done me wrong, but it is my future we are discussing here. Rashid, say I give it to you, you're a funny guy. That is the 1% I gave you. You make me happy. You release a little dopamine and oxytocin, because in anticipation of seeing you, I already start smiling, So yeah, you have your drugs, small, tiny, but you have something. In anticipation of comfort, that man, that's big juicy fruit. That is, and I have to think of my babies. But him, I already see them in school. They're already in school. They are settled. I can't see issues of school fees or anything of sort. So, Rashid, I know I've said a lot, and I could go on and on all day, point by point. The few times we used to come as a group, and stop by your room, your upside down room, right? That looked like a hurricane passed through. Rashid, in my mind, I've never been to the man's house. God forbid, I'm a Christian. And I'll never be to his house except I don't know what condition. Maybe I go with my sister or brother, someone, But even if I go, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is 2-3 bedrooms, different rooms, parlor. Rashid, you are one room. In my mind's eye, there are multiple drawers. Everything is neatly laid out. It's in our mind's eye. The thing might be a bigger hurricane than Rashid. I just paused. The narrator just paused to comment. He might be worse 10 times than Rashid. But that's not what our oxytocin and dopamine supplies are saying. Because they are activated by sight and experience and memory. That's what makes you pick up your phone every time. Dopamine. This. In anticipation of who has sent a message. I'm not serious. In anticipation, dopamine. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm 100% serious. Dopamine. The people of the world know it. They are the ones we learned it from. Dopamine. They said dopamine supply. Those that are in the public space, that's what makes them go straight to look at number of views. That thing that drives you to keep doing something, even outrageous things. Dopamine supply. Cash, dude. But what is cash? Cash is the number one dopamine supplier. Go and think about it. Cash tells you have hope of anything you want. Have me, you can have. So that would drive you like the monkey towards the mango to endure all sorts of things. Why do people struggle sometimes with doing the things that please God? Because their dopamine supply is not linked to their relationship with God. They don't anticipate much instant. Dopamine talks about soon reward. It's coming out. That's why people dump money for money. The dopamine rush of anticipating more money with which you can get a car, which you can upgrade something you have. That is what dopamine does. So we must determine if we are going to be drug users or you will be led by the voice of the Lord. Men are slower, but they come and overtake. The woman is more careful earlier, the female. The man becomes more careful later, long after you overtook. So by the time the girl was 15, 16, 17, 18, they say, oh, she's a lady, she's more a small woman. Oh, she's she's careful in how she acts, right, behaves, does things, carries things, all of that. And the man comes slowly later, around 30, 35, 40. He is careful. He's telling his friend, be careful. He has arrived. Just that we had to wait long. But he has arrived. When he arrives, he's beyond you in care, that driving. You know that young crazy boy. The girl was careful as she drove. He, around 40, 45, 50, he's the more dependable, a mature man. That condition you saw your father in, if you had the privilege of being a certain way, that state, you get there later. By then, your wife is doing crazy things. Sometimes you're like, really, darling? It's not that she's moving backwards. is that you have overtaken. It's not that she's not still running, but you have run fast. So Rashid has a chance. Are you hearing me? Yeah, he might be way more. You know, one of the challenges with the female, she wants to admire, hold in esteem the one. He deserves that whole oxytocin thing. You should deserve the regard. You are to be worthy of me trusting in you. And young Rashids do not have as much as, yes, in her emotional war, she may make promises, she may be excited about a young guy. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I am giving you some basics, stronger basics, more common. But he can and should, if he continues on the path of righteousness, become all those things you desire and more. That man you're picturing, let me tell you one of the challenges of a man that is already a bit much more correct or all correct. Your immaturity can make him carry or harbor some disdain, which is the opposite of you and Rashid. You disdain him, the younger man. You disdain the younger man like, cha, I can bet, I beg, don't have energy. The older man, oh, he's hung over the moon, over you too, but I'm like, I'm already married, how? I don't have energy. Females being mostly actresses, so they can act very mature. But when he's in love, he doesn't see. When his dopamine supply is on his dopamine, men is usually dopamine. Have you heard all over the world about men marry and say he doesn't call. Have you heard that story? With dopamine now will make him carry phone and call every 5 seconds. For what? How? There's no dopamine supply. You understand? You're like, no, I'm going to find a way. So do you know what the people of the world did? Invented seduction and stupid things. So that's why a woman will take pictures. You say we are married. It's not a sin. Naked pictures in this world of the internet. And say, no, is anything wrong with it? Is it not my husband? Receive a brain from the storehouse of heaven in Jesus' name. Receive a brain. Replacements. Sorry, I have to talk like that sometimes because we don't have time to develop it. Men are, just stop reading, girls, stop reading nonsense. I've always told you that. He should call you 4 times while he was answering to the boss of his boss who came in from Algeria. In between, he should pause and say, how are you? He should be thinking about you. He's not thinking about you at all. At all. The same way you don't think about him when you're undergoing labor. Why should he think about you? On what basis? You see that you're silent, like, no, this is not right. You're very unserious. Wait, where do you think you are? Where do you get those ideas from? So he's running around, shaking, his heart is shaking. Oh God, I hope they don't sack me. He should be thinking about you. He's only thinking about you today, so he's thinking of us, you and him having no house. And him stopping to text you is exactly the kind of thing that can lead to his dreams coming true, his nightmares coming true. Stop and think about it. He's not thinking about you. He was busy all day. He was very busy. He was engrossed in many things. Say, no, if you know why this makes you happy, but if you know that's what makes a woman happy, why don't you do it? Woman, when will you find Jesus? When will you know Jesus? Go to Jesus. You oxytocin dealer, dopamine buyer. Get up drugs. That's what we should have called this program. Get up drugs. God, God, get up drugs. I am serious. My campaign is get up drugs everywhere. Women, men, but especially women. They deal more. Oh yeah, you do the internal chemical dealing way more. You deal. Has he sent a message? 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 You're not even married. You have no clue. God has not even permitted you. You're already dealing. And then later you try and break his heart when you see. You do dopamine. He does oxytocin. I'll go with oxytocin. If you had dopamine and oxytocin, I'll feel more comfortable with you. But now when he starts supplying dopamine, you're gone, Rashid. You cannot build your life in marriage that will not meander on drugs. I believe in great freedom from these words. You cannot build it on drugs, a drug foundation. No. You're going to have to build it on the word of the Lord, the prophecy of God Almighty. That the Lord sent forth his breath, his spirit, his ruach, and he went forth and dragged you to the one, and you did not look at his oxytocin supply. That was the Lord. The Lord led me. The Lord brought me to you. Yeah, you're not the height I would have thought, but where did I get the height from? You are not the size I would have thought. You don't look like as much. I had a boss once. I hear when he married his wife or knew her, he didn't have much money. Even though I don't know why they would say that. They said things they had. But I think when she was in university, they were not married, and I think he already had a car and all of these things. So he was comfortable maybe to a degree. But later they lived in his brother's house in Lagos as a couple. They're squatting. Things were tough. He would try his hand at this business, try his hand at this business. But years later, very comfortable. And you see them play sometimes, and it's very nice to see. Doesn't mean they didn't have quarrels, but it doesn't matter. You're around them, you'll be jealous. It's not like you say, this was my first love. That wasn't it. He was an unbeliever. The point is that those concerns his wife had, and all over I'm sure some of you know this kind of story. Some may have been your parents. And the man wasn't comfortable. He didn't present any picture of stability at all. But he had hope of stability, which you should have. I didn't say you should go and marry anybody. There are people, they don't have hope, stability. I didn't send you. Sorry, you do know that Eve met Adam in a garden. He had settled, he managed. When she met her husband, he was a manager. Are you hearing me? Men, hear it. I've told you many times in our private meetings. And they come and meet you, look like that. See, you didn't hear what pastor said. Said, hey, you look like a Rashid that never stops being Rashidi. So you begin to drop all these things you picked up from wherever. I'm not going into all the poisonous things we've seen and read and watched, not even going to the perverse dimensions of darkness in this world that have seeped in. Oh, it's something you saw when you were 7 years old. There was a magazine. There's something I saw, a clip. There's so many enemies we are fighting. Now we've come against that when we've had our healing from oppressive spirits meetings. We've come against spirits that have to do with perverse sexuality. We hear of things like rough sex, people who get stirred up from being handled roughly by a man, grabbed by the throat, shoved against the wall. That's what stirs her up. That's what stirs up some men. That's what makes them feel alive. Other than that, they feel impotent. For real. They feel impotent until there's one. So they almost certainly have a demon that has come in, or their dopamine triggers. That's their dopamine trigger. I hope you understand it. Now, in the past, when I've talked about this mostly, I talk about demons, spirits. But it's not just spirits. Your human body has the ability to trigger all sorts of things. You know how your thoughts can make you feel all sorts of things, hear all sorts of things. Someone can talk to you, said something, and you thought they said something, and you already start feeling the impact of what they said till you heard some. You ask, what did you say? Or you left there, all the world is crashing around you. And then you ask the person you're working with, why did so and so say that to me? And the person say, what did he say? Didn't you hear when he said I'm lazy? He said, no, he didn't say that. See, he said it. Why did you think I've been moody for the last 3 hours? He said your eyes were hazy. All the emotions you felt in association with what you thought, all. That's why you can tell two people, The same thing. You can say to someone, don't behave like noodles. And the person says, say how? Now you're walking as though your legs will break. Perfect peace in paradise. Nothing is wrong on earth. Then you say to another person, they start hating you. You don't get to understand it for the next 3 years. You don't know that they've told that person since they were young. See your bones like you won't see your bones like noodles. You see, if I die and this person hates their body, hates it, the other person would have laughed. Doesn't mean a thing. This other one hates you from that day. Hate. The same words, the same intention from the mouth of the one who said it has never occurred to the person that your thing doesn't occur. The person just, but the emotions triggered by the words, the emotions, take note of what I'm saying, the feelings. When you are a feelings-led person, not a word-led person, you have your mixed pockets of feelings, positive or negative. That is how someone that is a quack can deceive you too. Why it is so easy for girls that have not experienced love, and even guys, to fall for anyone that seems to show them a little love, is because, oh, this one must love me. Hey Angelina, how are you? Yeah, I've been thinking about you all night. I'm telling you, for the past 3 days, I haven't been able to focus. Angelina, my angel. Bah, head knock. Bah, just everything falls apart. I've told you, this third guy has said Teddy. Where did they call him Teddy? His name is Ita Udoh, but Teddy. The other guy. What is his full name? The other Nwabusi. Sugar Mary Kay. All him. They say, oh, hey girls, what's up? I'm Teddy. Teddy's in the house. Who's Ted? If you know how much he hated his name when he was a boy. Anyways, Theodore, you are his next catch. Do you know why guys hunt girls? Dopamine and sex. But sex triggers dopamine in the most massive volumes. That is why sex is so enjoyable. Dopamine, that one is just pumping it. Normally, it's just a small dose. Beep, beep, beep. Dopamine is a dopamine flood. Understanding will help you. So imagine the same thing. How do I say that? Imagine that the same thing that people feel when they are doing sexual things is being released from picking your phone, from talking to someone, a little, very small amount. Then sex is one that triggers the greatest amount. So you can see it's the same chemical, but just in different degrees. So if you're led by your dopamine supply, sorry. Why do guys hunt girls? Dopamine. Not just the act of things that, but what the thrill. What do you call that thrill? That thing they're feeling before that thing. That's why they can be going after 4 different girls at the same time. Sometimes because, oh, this one doesn't have my time. She's not going to supply me dopamine. This one will not. No, so I have to have this extra dealers. Are you understanding? Girls don't feel and are not as big sometimes on dopamine as they are on oxytocin. They have dopamine issues similar to guys, but they also have oxytocin much more. Guys don't go around as much, except with regards to money and all that, for their oxytocin supply, but females tend to turn to guys for oxytocin supply a lot too, right? Okay, but you also notice sometimes you hear of women who because they are less driven by the other. Women who are settled financially, have you heard this career-driven women, how sometimes they can just fast the idea of men? Can you understand it? So their career is their oxytocin supply. Is this making sense? All of these feelings, I've shown you at quite some length the opposition to the breath of the Almighty. So you are driven constantly by either your feelings or the Lord's voice, the word of the Lord. The person who makes a choice to be powered and motivated by the word of the Lord is the wise person. Why? Because it is settled forever in heaven. Issues concerning the word, but issues concerning your chemical factory, when you die, it has shut down. And you can be in so much trouble that it's shut down too. It is wisdom for us to not depend on our feelings if we are driven to carry out actions. No more carry out actions based on your chemicals, your feelings, your drug supply. Do not. From now on, don't trust those feelings. All those silly Disney, Hollywood combo statements that, oh, follow your heart. In fact, you deserve what you get, that if you believe, follow it, say, oh yeah, where has your heart led you to so far? How many men has it led you to? The scriptures tell you the heart is deceitful and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Hollywood says follow your heart. You better make up your mind. I have a ton of things to show you. Mending Marital Meandering. We've just finished looking at one big one, because this chemical thing will meander you in a million wrong ways. Once this is in place, you can get rid of 90% possibly of contenders for your heart, male and female. You can just drop. And those that are left in the future in your life, as God brings you across people to help you zoom in. Are you hearing me? Oh, she's tall and dark, slim, and she's this. She evokes memories. You know that thing that makes that man attracted to that woman, that lady that looks like that? He doesn't even know that it's because she reminds him of his mother. Oxytocin. Mommy is safe, mommy is safe, mommy is safe. She looks like she will be a safe woman to live with. Nah, she's a tiger. You will find out when she snarls. Hey, Mr. Man. Say, I'm not ready. See, let me tell you something. I'm not those kind of women. I'm not, so they even see. I don't know what I did. Let me kill her, Charles. Hey, Charles, listen. You were drawn. She's a strong woman. She's a lioness. Let's not make the mistake, I never do. I try not to make the mistake. It's a woman problem. Don't be silly. Wretched men all over the earth. Wretched, especially in the last 30 years. It's become so bad. So bad. She hunted you down. You don't understand. Lionesses hunt. The lion just shows up to rah, rah. He contributes a little, but lionesses, they gang up, they're powerful. They help chase it towards the light. They do a lot of the hunting. She hunted you down. You didn't know you were being hunted. He stalked you, cornered you, and pounced. Sometimes. And if that happened, as has happened many a time, if she's a good lioness, fine and good. But if she's a dangerous thing, sorry, sir, you should have not been led by how firm, how bold she was. She was bold. Men can also be disarmed completely by bold women. All over, men have been conquered by bold women. He would have liked Neka, but Patricia is a go-getter. When she may have even gotten him just to spite Neka herself. Neka, do you take permission from your queen mother before? Okay, watch me. Bah, she flips into action, uncovers her leg. He's gone.